of point it down to the fact that even when every other thing is fine, like all things being equal, your water okay, your water having optimum parameters, your feed being an optimum feed, and your management practices being okay. If there is a default in your traits, in the trait of your fish, if there is a default in the selective, in the genetic combination of your broodstock, you're still going to have, most likely have problems during the growth towards, during the journey towards becoming fingerling or juvenile, or during the growth in between being a juvenile and being a table sized fish. Somehow, some way or the other, there is going to be a problem. So Mr. Busayo is back. Thank you so much. We have
Yeah, sorry.
enjoyed the discussion so far. So good. So we'll just so that people can also find it more interactive, we'll be throwing their questions. So the first person asked, at what age do you know a broodstock? I think maybe what he was trying to say is at what age
Yeah.
will a fish?
Okay, if it is, at what age will you be able to identify a broodstock? For you know, like what I said about their growth rate and then this thing, at least to select a good broodstock, you must start selection from a population, let's say minimum of 6 months, because at least you must have begin to see some of those features, and then you can separate them and then begin to groom them as a broodstock fish. You understand? So minimum of 6 months. But if you now want to begin to use them as broodstock for breeding, they should never be less than 1 year, both
Yes.
male and female. And then the weight also is there. You can't just, not every fish can be is a good candidate for broodstock. For male, like I said, it should not be less than 1 kg. For female, as much as if you have within 1 year you have fish that is as big as 2.5, and then the gonads are not that well developed like that, or 1.5, and the gonads are not well developed, is a very good candidate for broodstock.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, Bashir Abdurazak said, can catfish farmers encourage the sex reversal being practiced in tilapia farming?
Okay, does what?
You know, tilapia farmers practice sex
Yes, sex
reversal.
reversal.
So he
Yes.
said, can we encourage it in catfish farming?
You know what? Sex reversal. The reason why there is sex reversal in tilapia, for instance, you know, is because, and then you change from female to male. That's what you try to you try to maintain a kind of all male stock.
Yes.
Under sex reversal, under in tilapia. The reason for this is that in tilapia, the males tends to have a good or a better body growth.
Yeah.
You understand, than the female. And then before you know it, within 3-4 months, the female they have already started carrying some eggs. You know, before you know it, the energy that should have been diverted for growth is being converted into maintenance, to maintain into reproduction, this thing, which is not useful for under commercial production system. So because of that, that's why they are doing sex reversal in tilapia production. But for catfish, I don't think this is a problem. So it's not actually necessary to do a kind of sex reversal like that. It is
maybe
not. It is not.
we are doing an experiment or something. But for commercial farming, I don't think we need to do that. If we are growing for meat.
Okay, for meat, Abby, you don't actually need that for catfish. Instead of you trying to do sex reversal, why not go for hybrid? Because the hybrid are sterile, and then they grow very well. So instead of you trying to say you want to sex reverse players and then to make them all male or all female, I don't know. It is better you rather go for hybrid if that's what you want.
Thank you.
So and then another thing, let me say something. Another thing there is that the whole world, I think generally there's an advocate for a kind of organic production now. So, and use of chemicals and some additives, we should try to limit it in our production. So, because there's no way you will do a kind of sex reversal that you won't
And
need
you
a
won't
kind
involve chemicals.
of. So, it's better. It's not part of best management practice. It's not the best management. Let's just leave it like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody said the 1 year for male and female. Is it? Do we start counting from fry or from fingerlings? You know when we say 1 year old.
Okay. The 1 year, mostly let's start counting from fingerling. I mean, let's start counting from juvenile.
Juvenile.
Let's start counting from juvenile. Let's start counting from juvenile. I will say that. Let's start counting from juvenile.
Okay,
But it
somebody
is
said.
possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But it is possible for fingerlings to get this thing. But I will say, in order to be adequately sure that yes, the fish are mature enough, let's start counting from juvenile.
Someone said, is broodstock selection determined by the purpose the fish is being used for? Like, for instance, maybe he wants to do smoking or table size. Is the broodstock selection determined by this?
Okay, yeah, it is very important. You know, I read a literature about China catfish in US, and I discovered that they have like, I think 4 or 5 different strains of China catfish, and all of them, they have different, they have different features that are of commercial importance depending on what you want. Some of them are for flesh, some are because they are disease resistant. So for those people that are into smoking business now, if you have a fish, a fish that most time fish that has a good flesh, the good flesh makeup, and then has maybe small head, the size of the head, the ratio of the head to the body. We've seen some instances that you will see some broodstock or some fish that their head will be very big, and they will have they will have like stout body. Those ones, they are not actually good enough for processing like that. You understand? So for people that want to go into breeding, into processing, they would rather prefer a broodstock, a parent stock that can give them, that can be combined together and can give them fish that maybe have less viscera, less maybe egg, or have a kind of, and they can mature within a very short period of time, between 2 to 3 months. You understand? Or between 2 months, 2 to 3 months, you already have your standard 500 level, 500 gram or melange, sure you understand, or whatever this thing. So there could be broodstock selection for processors, for those people that are having for those people that are having challenges with and then another thing again, okay, for salmon, I think I should mention this. For salmon, for instance, now the bone is the particular genetic modification that was done in order to reduce the bone content, the bone content of the fish. Such too can be done also for those people that are also in processing, so that at least you can have some flesh. I think let me stop there.
Okay, thank you, Busayo. Somebody asked, is there a model or software for effective breeding number? When you were teaching about the breeding calculation.
Okay. There is no software, but from the literatures that I've read, at least they said for a standard farm, for a standard hatchery production, you should keep a minimum of 50, a minimum of 50 broodstock. A minimum of 50 broodstock. At least that 50 broodstock can serve you for, like, let's say 5 generations. For the 5 generation of production of that 50 broodstock, you will see you will never have you will never experience anything like inbreeding. You understand? No, but there is no software to do that now. But from experience, experience teaches a lot, and then experience is different from what you read in literature. Okay, you understand? So, but from experience, and then to have a standard distance so that you can easily do some selective, and then just at least minimum of 50 broodstocks at a time in an hatchery, a standard hatchery. Minimum of broodstock, it can be 50 female, 50 male, 25 or whatever, but minimum of 50, so that you can actually pick randomly and then have enough to serve you for the whole year. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, please kindly brief us on how to use fish brain to make fish hormones.
Okay. What the person is trying to ask for is that how to remove the pituitary.
The pituitary.
It's not actually
Yeah.
the pig. You know, it is this what's the name? This operculum. I mean, the hard part of the fish. After you remove the operculum and then you remove this gill, there is a you will see like a hard whitish bone like this that is lying directly on the hard part of the hard part of the fish. So you can remove it. The pituitary always stand on the brain. You know, the brain is like on the brain lobes. Is if the brain lobes is like this, you know, something like this. So you have the pituitary like this. Then you can have some fat. So most time it is always like this. So after you carefully remove it, you will see the pituitary standing right in this. But you know, every fish, every catfish have pituitary, and then the way you use pituitary is weight to weight. If you want to use pituitary if you want to inject 5 grams of fish with pituitary, you will need 5 grams of fish. So you will remove the pituitary of 5 grams of fish. So most times it is weight to weight. So, but to remove it is not something that I can actually describe like that. You know,
You need a video to actually describe it. And if you go on YouTube, for the person that asked the question, if you go on YouTube, you will see a lot of videos on how to remove the pituitary gland of the catfish.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, cranium. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, somebody said, what could be the reason for different growth rates in a single batch of fingerlings produced, as leftover are usually regarded as runs, which may consume more or grow less? Like, what determines this idea of us having runs, having the shooters, and all that?
Okay. Well, from my own little experience and exposure, what I've discovered there is that, for instance, most farmers, you know, sometimes when they want to breed, most hatchers, when they want to breed, they mix eggs from different females together. Like you induce, like, let's say you induce like 2 females. You understand? When you induce 2 females and you want to strip them, you now strip both of them inside one bowl, you know, and then you fertilize them at the same time. The sizes of their eggs, their eggs are different. And the sizes of their eggs is going to go a long way in telling the sizes of the fingerling the fry that's going to hatch out of it. So because of this, already there is difference in the growth rate. Already there is difference because of the difference in the egg size. Definitely there's going to be difference in the size of the fry that will eventually be produced. You know, another thing there again that is also about it is also, if, for instance, when after you fertilize, you understand, and then you incubate, the temperature of incubation is not is very low. You know, you could have some that are going to hatch out, and then there could be delay. Some will hatch out easier within short period of time, and then a lot of them will not hatch out. So because of that differences, it could also be part of it. It could be part of it, but it may not. But the egg is the major part that could also be part of it. And the runt that she's talking about again, like the way I described the inbreeding, you know, most time runts are the population of the runt depend on the level of the percentage of inbreeding, you know, that occur in a particular breeding program. So if the level of inbreeding is very, very high, then the population of the run that you are going to produce will be very high. But if the percentage of inbreeding is very low, then it is possible for you to have high population of those ones that have normal growth and what's the name and shooters. Then the population of the runt will be very minimal.
Yes. Thank you. So somebody said, can we get a write-up of the effective number? Yes, we are going to write out the formula and I will share it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Just turn on notification.
And then,
so thank you so much, Busayo. You've so far so good. You've really broken this thing into pieces for us. And I feel that people are enjoying the class. Kudos. Thank you. So you were saying something.
Yeah, okay. No, what I'm saying is that there are a lot of write-ups online and then stuff like that, you know. Knowledge is everywhere. It's not restricted to anybody now, because the age of internet that we have now, you can easily go online and you know, have access to good materials.
To a lot of knowledge. Yes.
Yeah.
So someone said, okay. Somebody said, how can we get the formula clear? It's still the same thing as well. So now somebody said this formulation method is used in developing. Oh, sorry, I missed that. It went off the screen when I was trying to write it. Okay, somebody else said, which method is best during the course of fertilization?
Which
method is best during the course of fertilization?
Okay.
I really do not understand the question.
Well, there are two methods of fertilization. There's one called wet, there's another one dry. You know, the wet one is the one that you first, the meat, you open it up inside the saline water, 0.9%. And then before you now mix it with with the egg. Then, whereas the dry one, you just mix the meat and then with the egg, you mix it together, then before you add saline water. It depends on what works for you and your level of experience. But one thing about meat is that the sperm it can only be active for 1 minute once it comes in contact with egg. I mean with with water or with egg or with water. So within 1 minute, that's when the fertilization can occur. So if you can adequately mix very well and then large percentage of your eggs are exposed and then listen, you can easily, there's no perfect way to it. It depends on how experienced